I think the way that you're supposed to install this is to mount it directly to your tile. I didn't do that. I kind of overcomplicated it. Okay, I'm starting on the shower surround. So I'm using Schluter Kerdi-Board. This stuff is used commonly in, I saw it first on Mike Holmes. He uses it a lot. But this stuff, when it's done correctly, if you put everything all together and you tape it up, this material itself is waterproof. So it's a pretty good lining. It's very light. It's, you know, it's just like a foam. It's easy to cut. It has these grids built into it so that you can easily see where you're going. I cut this one backwards, so I had to make a workaround for that, but it's waterproof on both sides. So you'd use these fasteners. These are Schluter Kerdi-Board fasteners, and it's just a ring and then a wood screw that goes into wood. So I have wood beams mounted all up and down the shower and then inside the walls. But what we'll have to do here is cover this with Kerdi band. So this is Kerdi band. So you'll cover this and you'll cover the corners, all your seams with this Kerdi band. And once that's done, once everything is covered up, it'll be waterproof. I've seen other, a young couple that used it. I haven't seen them do it lately, but they put Red Guard over top of this. It's totally unnecessary, and it might even harm, you know, depending on what the chemical reaction with this is, it might even harm the Kerdi-Board. So you don't need Red Guard. Just put the Kerdi band in the corners over any holes that you puncture through. So like here, I had a mistake, so I'll have to put a piece of Kerdi band over that. You just use, I think it's a thin set mortar that goes over top. Unmodified, I believe. I'll clarify that. But yeah, so it's really easy to use, really easy to cut. My back panel is here. We're gonna glue vinyl PVC tiles. So this is the tile that we're gonna use, and we're gonna do a vertical mount like this. We got these off of Amazon. I'll put the link below. I made a recess in this area in the other panel. The panel's laying over there right now, but that'll be for my Dometic toilet paper holder here. And what that will also give me is I can take this out if I need to and access the water through that hole to the back of the faucet. It'll be tight, but it'll be doable. I've already tested it. Yeah, and I can see these links right here, you know, if I need to check for leaks or anything. Other than that, it's all solid all the way to the back. Up in the top, I'm going to have a light through here. This is what the wiring is for, so I'll just drill through that once the tile is installed, and then put my LED light there. All right, so I got the shower pretty much all sealed up with Kerdi band. These are covering the screws, and then in the corner I have one piece on the top, one piece over here. It comes in a roll like this, and so you just cut off what you need and cut it. And for the corners, they recommend to fold it like that, so it gives you a crease, and then you can tuck that in. You can tuck that into the corner. For tools, I just used just a plastic trowel to put on the thin set, and a 1/8 notch trowel to create grooves, and then you just push that on there and then flatten it out with the same tool here and use it as kind of like an angle, so it kind of squeezes the mortar out of the cracks. So we're just going to let this dry, and then our next step is to put our tile on it. So this is the tile we're going to use in the shower. It's a tongue and groove, and it's a vinyl, I think it's like a PVC type tile, but it has the groove on one side and the top, and then it has the tongue on the other side in the bottom. So when you cut them, just make sure that you know which side you're cutting, because you don't want to cut the wrong side. You do need to put some kind of sealer inside this crack to make sure that it's waterproof. For the adhesive, I used this Gorilla Glue. A lot of the other ones, I wasn't certain if they would adhere to the Ditra or the Kerdi-Board. This one said it basically stuck to everything, like for instance foam board, so that's why I went with this one. It actually works pretty good. It just put a little thin line all over the tile and just cover it, and then as soon as you put it up and hold it in place, it pretty much stays. Alright, started on the tile. This is a 12 by 24 faux marble. It's actually like a PVC type of tile. And so because I have a slope here and I'm staggering these, there's this part here where it's bending around the corner, so I could either cut and make a seam or I could try and bend the tile. So the way that I bent the tile is I just scored it with the table saw, just made like a groove. I don't know if you can see that or not. That doesn't go all the way through like that, and that'll allow you to bend it just a little bit. And usually once you get to a certain point, it'll crack, but you don't want it to crack. If you're having to push it too hard, then maybe just take a little more deeper cut so that it wants to bend. So now this one I cut even deeper, and you can see it's already kind of floppy just on its own. So this one you could easily bend to a shape without having a weird break crease there. Okay, so now I'm moving on to grouting with silicone caulk, not grouting, but caulking the inside lines. And here's my first run. And the easiest way to do this cleanly, although there are like lots of little tools you can buy, but I found that it works easiest just to use blue tape. So just create 2 strips and then run your caulk line down all the way to the bottom, and then pull it off while it's still wet, and you'll get a nice clean seam. And once I've globbed a bunch of it in there, I just wet the tip of my finger, and then just run your finger down in between the tape and the corners, getting off all the excess. I have a rag here to And then once that step is done, just come back to your tape and peel it kind of at an angle away from it. And there you go. Okay, so I got it all caulked. I also put a light caulk inside the grooves because it's waterproof when this is caulked or covered with silicone. So yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay, I put the Nautilus door on. Just close it here, latches. I'm sure most of you have probably seen it already. It's pretty common for showers in vans. It's a self-cleaning door. It's pretty easy to install. So on the back of this side, there's a piece of tape, double-sided tape, same for this side. And so basically you just put it up, measure the distance between these tops from here to there, and then subtract 1/4 inch, and then that's the distance, or that's the length of the bar that goes in the middle. And then that bar has a screw that goes all the way through. It's like an A channel, I guess. So it's like this, but it has a piece going across as well. So that screw goes through that piece. Same for the bottom. Now I think the way that you're supposed to install this is to mount it directly to your tile. I didn't do that. I kind of overcomplicated it because I thought, well, I'll just put it right on the 80/20. But the issue, well, the first issue was I couldn't get the door to close because it was hitting on the wall here, so there wasn't enough room for it to catch because it was sitting so far back. So I bought a piece of aluminum bar and I stuck it in between the 80/20 and this, and that helped. The other issue is the way that it drains. You kind of want it so when it's coming through here, this is squeegeeing off the door and it drains down into here. And so you want it to be a solid barrier for water getting out. So basically I had to caulk the outside of this, and I caulked the inside of it just to kind of keep it from getting out of there. And then of course I caulked the inside corner here and here. Yeah, and so the wiser way to do it is to bring your tile all the way out to the edge where you want to mount this, and then just mount it directly to that. Okay, so I finished all the caulking on the tile. I put a little bit of caulk in these, as much as you could fit it, because these are not considered waterproof until that is sealed with silicone. So I did that as well on all of the doors. I bought this mat off of Amazon. It's a 17 by 24, I think. I'll verify that. But it was a little bit too big for this shower pan, so I just use a jigsaw and rounded off the corners, and then it fits in there perfect. And then I have my airhead toilet mounted directly to this mat. So now the airhead, it has these quick disconnect right here. I had to actually shorten them just because this is too short. The shower itself is too short this way for them to be the full length. It like pushes the toilet outside the door almost. And so in order to get this on and off easily, I basically chopped them, both of them, so that it would use less space. So my port basically goes through the wall, around the back there, and then down, and then this is my fan. I haven't hooked that up yet. I still have to put my screws in for my Dometic paper, toilet paper holder. And so this has a little gear in here. This was a little bit too tight when I first put it in, and it fit in there, but because it was squeezing, this had a tendency to want to pop out of there. So every time you dropped it down and then brought it back up, it would stop spinning. So it's supposed to spin to feed some toilet paper whenever you open it up. And then when you close it, it pulls it back up. Let's see what else is there. I have to fill in this with some kind of block. Right now it's just the exposed Kerdi-Board. So I'm going to make a little fitting to just go over that and cover the ends, because this is a little bit shorter. Put a light up there. Mounted this, so this is just 4 little adhesive tape pads, and then you coat the back of it with silicone and just press it up, and the tape holds it in place while the silicone is drying. This is our shower. Coming to here. Right now this is just held up by suction cup. We just want to make sure that it's in the place where we want it to be. This is going to be our trash can. There's no batteries in it right now, but it's a one where you just wave your hand over it and it opens up, and it's small enough to where we can keep it in here and then take it out when we need to shower. I will probably have to take the toilet out when I shower because it's a little too tight for me. My wife can probably get away with it. The other option is to just sit while you're taking the shower. Yeah, so that's it. Overall, wasn't too bad. This tile it's pretty good look, looks pretty good, has a decent look to it.